What's up guys, hello and welcome to another vlog episode of the India travel series. So if you missed out on the series in the previous episode, I was visiting IIT here in Jabalpur, and I just wrapped up from there and moved into a new hotel for the night, and we'll be exploring Jabalpur from here. So I'll give you a room tour of this hotel, show you the outside, so let's get started. So this is the Shawn Elizey 5-star hotel that we are staying at. This is a deluxe double room. So there is a nice double bed behind me, and there's also a seating area here. So there's a nice sofa, mini dining table, and my vlogging working desk over there. There's also a nice big TV here, some tea coffee counter, lots of cabinet space here, which is nice. And this is the washroom. That's the bathroom. This is like a wash basin area as well. It's pretty spacious, very big room out here. So compared to the previous guest house, this is like a much bigger upgrade. So there's also a restaurant here. We're gonna go for breakfast at some point, so we're gonna show that. Outside is like 8 p.m. now, completely dark, but I'll try to show you what I can at night, and then we'll continue the vlog the next day. Good morning guys, hello and welcome to another day at this is our Shawn Elizey 5-star hotel. We had a really fun night last night. The food here is amazing. Today we decided to go out and explore, and now it decided to start raining. So let's see how the exploration goes, but we'll venture out anyway. It was very hot, so it's good that it finally started raining. So we are approaching the first stop for the day while exploring Jabalpur. So this place is by the Narmada River. I don't know if you could see it from a distance. The Narmada is flowing there. There's also a waterfall over there. So this place is called Bedaghat, where Ghat is the name of a place that allows you with some steps to get closer to the flowing water body. There's also some water over on this side. Let's cross over, and it's safe to go there. I'll show you. There's a Narmada River flowing all around here. Now we are passing over this bridge across to the other side, but it looks like at some point the water level rises quite high. There's an electric pole over there. There's like garbage hung up over there as well, which means the water floods on a high tide over all the way here. That's how there is this water segments here, and these are all like marine rocks as well. So the plan is to figure out a way if we can do boating on the river Narmada, which I showed you in the previous vlog, is the one of the holy rivers in India as well, right after River Ganga, right? So let's get closer to the area and see what we have here. Oh look, they're also having cable cars here. I had no idea. But anyway, we want to go down there and try do the boating and maybe get close to that waterfall somehow if there is a possibility. So there is this Dhuandhar Falls, where Dhua means smoke. It's kind of like a mini Niagara Falls. So we just want to see. I was here back when I was a child, so kind of reliving the memories and see how much India has changed over these years. So some information that we just learned here is that the entire Bedaghat, which is this area, is closed from 15th June to 15th October. There's no boating activity, not much to do within the Narmada River as well. The only thing that we can do is to go to the waterfalls, the Dhuandhar Falls, the mini Niagara Falls I was saying, and then do the cable car that I just showed you. Go to the other side and then take a cab to do that part. So we're going to do it, but in the meantime we found a temple. So we're going to trek up there and check out the temple first. They have the same yellow bell-like flowers as I showed you in my grandma's garden. So this temple we are trekking to is called Chausath Yogini, which is actually something translates loosely to 64 shrines. But ironically there are 80 something shrines inside rather than 64. But it's still called 64 shrines. Either way, it's a nice trek, though the sun is really hot now. But the views down there also quite good. I wish there was a little bit more tree cover, or it would have rained for a little bit longer. This rained a few drops, so I was planning to take the car for a car wash. It has been dirty during all this road trip, but got a free car wash instead for now. It lasted that long, but probably later now it will get even more dirtier, so maybe I'll do a car wash at some point. For now, trekking up to the temple. That was a nice experience. The temple on the inside is circular with several goddesses on the outside, though they are slightly defaced by now. There was a kid also counting while I was counting, so I got distracted and started playing with the kids, so I lost count. But I'm guessing there are 80 plus kind of statues here, including ones on the outside and inside the main temple. So in India you're never allowed to take out phones and videos of the actual center core of the temple where the gods are sitting. So that's like a holy place, so don't even try. I'm told, so my father just told me there are 3 temples of this kind that have the similar architecture, but the priest inside told us that this is the only one where Lord Shiva is sitting on the bull that he rides. No other temple has a similar kind of statue, so this is one of a kind of those 3. That was a nice experience. So we go back down all the way to our car, continue the journey to the waterfall. So at the car park we got ourselves a guide, so he's showing us around. There are 4 points here, including one temple which we already did, 3 more points to go. So he's gonna show us around. We're gonna get a ticket. I think it's 150 per head. For him, of course, it's free. He's an official of this area. So probably we're gonna learn a little bit more this way, but we can't do boating, but at least we could see the viewpoint from up top, so that's a different view this time. was a short and sweet cable car ride, about a kilometer long. Typically with the car it would take you about 30 kilometers to go around the ridge. As you saw, there's a lot of rocky terrain here. So back in the day, probably what we remember is the water level was much higher, so there could be boating here. Now the guide was joking, like if the boats come here, they show up in the news the next day because they get stuck on the rock and get completely tattered if they're here. From here we are walking down closer to the water flow, and probably this is where you get the mini Niagara like feels, where have water splashing in your face. So I'm really curious to see how it feels like. There is heavy flow here. The one I showed you from the bridge when we were in the car, and I think also it also appears in the cable car ride. But now we're gonna go close, and I can actually feel some water droplets already, and we are that far away from water still. I don't know if you can hear the water, but it's very heavy flow and you can already feel the water droplets in your face here. This is an amazing feeling. It does feel like mini Niagara, although you don't need a poncho just yet, but at least you're going to feel the droplets in your face. Amazing experience. You see all these plastic and stuff dangling on the trees. This was probably a high tide day where the waterfall dumped all of this here. So imagine the level of water on a high tide season. Luckily today is a low tide, so we can enjoy the waterfall and just have the droplets on our face and not swim around here. So we are back at the ropeway station. We're gonna grab the return ropeway and get to our car, and from there do the rest of the points with our own car. The base, there was a mini power outage and we were stranded just a short distance away from the station, but luckily they have power backup, so we were here. This ride was pretty cool. It was 150 rupees return trip for one person, so not so bad, mostly to see the waterfall. There was also a way to get down, but if you're interested in going down 100 steps, climbing 100 steps and vice versa, so about 400-500 steps, you could also do that without having to take the ropeway, but on the other side of the waterfall there were like some viewpoints. But it's very hot today, so we decided to take it a little bit easy so that we don't start sweating already, and we still have a few other points to check out. These are all marble rocks. That's why in the previous clips you would have seen there's a lot of marble art shops selling marble sculptures here. There's ample marble here. There's also a nice viewpoint on the other side, so we go check that out. We go down a few stairs from here. So these are the steps leading to sort of heaven. So this is known as Heaven's Gate, and along on that side of the cliff it is known that the monkey jumps all over to the other side across the Narmada River. So
160 deer.
This is an interesting place to check out. Nice viewpoint. You see that point in the water? That's where if you were to do boating, you would probably be seeing this monkey crossing point from there on the boat. But because there is no boating, so we are seeing it from the land side. And the monkeys were also smart, right? So if you go around the ravine, you probably spend 30 kilometers. This way is like a shortcut. So it's kind of an urban myth of sorts, but at least it's believable that the monkey would have crossed. So the name of this place is actually literally translating to monkey crossover point. So our guide is now showing us a different perspective of that temple that we climbed up the stairs, and it started raining again, so we are really enjoying it, like nice rain, cool breeze and exploring. Perfect combo. So this was the actual viewpoint that you see if you go boating. So the monkey jumps from this side to that side. We saw a slightly different perspective because the boating was not on. Look at the cat taking shelter from the rain. Perfect sandwich. So that's where the boating starts from. This is where the monkey rests, and this was used as a film set back in the day, one of the old Bollywood movies. Now we're just enjoying the view from the rain. That's River Narmada behind us, and the guide was explaining that because it is raining now, so all the mud from around the region kind of immerses itself into the flowing water, but in October it's gonna clear up and it's gonna be crystal clear water from then. Now the water is now the rain is starting to be a bit intense, so we're gonna hide in the shade there. This was the front side of the film set, now used by the government officials as the rest house. Because it's raining, so we are now going back to the car. It's a bit too hard of a rainfall for us to keep exploring, and I don't want to lose my GoPro in the rain. So we've dropped off our guide bhaiya now. We're gonna do the rest of the exploration on our own. So heading to an interesting viewpoint. Not gonna say much at this point. I'll show you and explain what that is. So we came to see this self-balancing rock. There is a very little surface area of the rock that is touching the bottom. This is naturally balancing based on the center of gravity of the rock above. So it's been like this for a while. So now that we've recharged with coconut water and the sun is out again, we're going to do some cardio, starting off with the warm-up. A couple of stairs up to another Sharda Devi temple, and then 200 steps up to a castle. So temple first, get the legs warmed up. You saw the dry coconut on a piece of rock over there. This is common in the Hindu temples. We use that dry coconut, we bang it on a rock or some piece of floor, we crack it, sprinkle the coconut water around as a sign of purification, and then offer the coconut to the gods first, and then use it as a prasad to kind of spread around with the friends and family. So that's very normal. And then the incense stick, the diyas, these are typical signs of a Hindu temple. And this bell, I think back when I was exploring Rajasthan in early part of the India travel series, I already mentioned it last year in one of the episodes. You only ring it on the way in, kind of like a gesture to wake up the gods. On the way out, you're waking up the devil. So never ring it on the way out, only on the way in. Once is enough. And this is a shivling made of marble. They have this kind of rock flooring here, and because it's extremely sunny and hot right now, the floor is boiling. And even while I was driving, as it started raining, the tarmac, there was like smoke kind of coming out of it. The water was evaporating as it was dropping. That was an interesting sight. We took a short detour along the trek on the stairs towards the castle. So that's the trekking path all the way up there. Within these caves we saw the temple, so decided to stop by, take a break from the hike. It's 2:30 p.m. It's like boiling hot, so all the breaks are welcome. So behind me is the Rani Durgavati fort. She was the queen of this area and she died fighting the Mughals, so she's a martyr and very well reputed to one. This was not as mighty as I thought, more like a vigilance tower. It was from back in the day, in the 11th century AD, where a lot of rulers ruled in this area for a very long time. They're doing some renovation work, so you can't go up there to see from the inside. You only see the premises. It's still a decent view from down here as well. So that place that we saw has dual names. For some reason it's also called Madan Mahal, which is King Madan's palace, and then Rani Durgavati Fort. But given the size, it neither looks like a palace nor a fort. It's more like a vigilance tower, and it's still under renovation. But this is the overview of the city. That was the temple flags where we came from. But now it's getting really hot, so we plan to go back to our room. We've anyway seen most of the things, so we're gonna go back and rest and cool down a bit. In the evening we have something special planned, so if that works out, I'll take you along in the vlog. So see you after a short resting cool down break. After a short rest break in the room, we are headed out yet again, this time to another part of Narmada, the side of the river banks known as Ghat. There is a special evening prayer that happens after the sunset, although there is no sun, it's all raining today. But in the evening hours they do it, so we are going there early to get a good spot and check that out. This is gonna be my first ever experience as well, so I'm really excited to see how it works out. So we have now made it to the Ghat. That's Narmada. This is typically what a ghat looks like, minus the crowds, because this is not a very touristy spot, so there are not many people here. If you go to the Uttar Pradesh, Varanasi, Ayodhya side where there is the Ganga, they have the same kind of prayers of the Ganga, and there's a whole lot crowd including foreign tourists over there. But that's why I wanted to come here, because this is not super touristy and you get to have like a peaceful kind of experience. Still lots of cows here. There's gonna be lots of priests as well doing the process, so we'll see how it goes. It's my first time experience, so I'm trying to get closer. This is the whole purpose of a ghat. So there's like a pedestal like this with the stairs bringing you close to the water body. So there are numerous of these boats that you can rent either as an individual, like for private, or you could have it shared. I think there is a sharing possibility as well. And then you could have like a tour of the river Narmada. So you could either go to the place where they're going to do the prayer soon, in half an hour, 1 hour, something like that, or you could go to the other side of the river banks. There's like lots of river banks like this all along. So while we wait for the mega puja to happen, we did a mini puja as well. So you see the floating incense stick here, floating diya. This is a holy river, so you can do that and ask for a small wish. And hopefully, when the flow comes, it will start floating over there. Some flowers and some floating diya. So somewhere here should be where the priest should be standing with the diyas and offering the prayers to the river Narmada. So we're gonna find a nice spot to stand somewhere close by, so we could have like a front row view of what goes on here. I've only seen this in the movies and videos before. It's the first time seeing it in real life. It's an epic experience. So we are back in the room. So as you saw from the past few clips, it did not go as planned. We got a very nice spot. We were waiting for the priest to come over and start the prayers. But there was a sudden cloudburst and everybody ran for shelter. And in situations like this, the ceremonies moved to indoors in a temple setting, which is not as exciting as what I was hoping for to see in the riverbanks out in the open. So anyways, we took shelter under a kind of roadside stall for a little bit. We captured as much as we could and we came back. We'll try again some other time in some other part of India, but I'm gonna end this vlog and I'll see you again in another episode of the India travel series. This is the Rustic Wanderer signing off. See you again the next time.